Welcome back to the 11 o'clock Waffle, the show that brings you the lighter side of the news without all of the boring political bits. First up this week, making their third appearance on the show, and yet this is only their series debut. She was fantastic on our sci-fi specials last year. Welcome back, Cathy Smedley.
Hello everyone, I have returned.
Welcome to the full Waffle. How does it feel?
I feel truly honoured to be here. Thank you for having me.
No problem. On to our next guest, who is making his third appearance of the series, which probably means we need to hire somebody new to book the guests. Only joking, of course. His impact on the show has grown over the past year, and this year he's finally claimed victory over the Duncan. It should be Christopher Stanley.
The pinky and the brain.
Oh no, the internet void has come for me. No, I'm here. After several reboots of my router, I am here.
Fantastic.
That I may vanish at any moment.
It could affect you getting another second win of the year.
I know. They've all got it in for me.
And last of all, a guest I'm very happy to have back on the show. She was with me back in January 2009 when we made our radio debuts hosting Back to the Decades. And she returned to the show this year having moved out of home and into her London bachelor pad. Lock up your sons, mothers of London, it's Karla Smith.
Hi! Hello,
back.
Waffle. It's been so long. How are you doing, Matt?
I'm doing very well. How are you since your last appearance?
That was, what, like 6 years ago? Yeah, I've been doing well.
I think it was last September when we asked the question regarding what legal age limits would you bring in?
I still stand by that. Stand by that, and that doesn't make me a pervert, damn it.
I'm pretty sure that someone, an 11-year-old, was denied cheese in a shop. Yeah, Natalie's rule changes are awesome. And the Dinosaurs episode is really sad, Karla. I remember watching that when I was little. It broke me.
Oh, right.
No, it's like, this isn't funny. I thought it was meant to be funny.
You look back and it is just the most depressing ending to anything ever. They just die.
Oh, you went to the last episode of The Waffle.
James is just over Edgar's body going, no!
No, we shave Edgar's head.
You have to get past Elizabeth.
Anyway, let's move on to round one. Question number one. Jeremy Clarkson has been given his final warning at the BBC after footage of him dropping the N-bomb was leaked online. So who else, in your opinion, is sat next to him in the Last Chance Saloon? Cathy, first full answer on the proper Waffle.
First full answer. Oh, well, David Cameron is on his way out. I don't think he's going to be around for very much longer. The Lizard Man.
David Cameron, okay, and Christopher next.
Have any of you heard of Rob Ford?
No.
Yes.
Good.
He is the American politician.
He is Canadian. He's mayor of Toronto.
Same thing.
Oh, this guy.
Yes.
This guy.
He's horrendous. Somehow, this man is still mayor of Toronto, despite many, many misdemeanors. It's just like he's been caught on video and camera just doing so many things badly, snorting cocaine.
Do you not think he's the greatest politician in the world, though? Because he's trying to stop drug use by using all the drugs himself.
Well, I suppose that's one way of looking at it, but he had to go into rehab for this because it's got so bad. He got turned away from America because they were like, you're not fit to come in here for rehab. You know, you need to sort yourself out. Yeah, sorry, go on.
This is the chap that when they asked him about him cheating on his wife, and didn't he come back with some comment about, I have plenty of pussy to eat at home?
Yes, exactly. And he is running for re-election. How?
What a charmer.
Despite the fact he's been stripped of like almost all of his powers by, the sort of people beneath him. It's just, and he's even terrifying to look at. He doesn't even look good. Some politicians do at least have a bit of charisma, a bit of charm, sort of look quite good. He just looks terrifying. He looks, actually, to be fair, he looks like the baby from Dinosaurs.
Yeah.
I'd go with that.
Is there any way of having a Ford-Boris Johnson coalition at next year's election?
I would say that Boris Johnson, to be fair to him, is a lot smarter than Rob Ford.
Really?
He was asked if he'd taken cocaine, and it took him a full 8 seconds to answer yes. You shouldn't need to think about that.
Okay, Karla, you got a stiff one to top there.
I do. And this question really annoyed me because if this had been about any other person, my answer would have been Jeremy Clarkson. Because the guy is just a...
Agree.
He's been treading a fine line for, like, what, 10, 15 years? Since he first said anything.
Every damn time.
It does help that he's got a certain friend who also is in the Last Chance Saloon, as put there by Cathy.
Yeah, it probably helps him out just a tad. But then people still love him, and he still gets on the panel shows and stuff like that, and it's just like, how? You are swine.
He has made far too many inappropriate comments.
He has. To be fair, I was thinking possibly Piers Morgan in England, but he's got out of it by going over to America, which is quite sneaky.
But America don't want him anymore.
No, that's true. Have they just cancelled his show, or?
I think they
Yeah.
cancelled his show, and I think everyone just knows that he's a as well.
Yeah. Maybe they should run away together, Clarkson and Morgan.
Oh,
A beautiful union.
Yes.
a beautiful yet horrific union.
Yes.
Okay, question number 2 now. Sunny Afternoon, a musical based upon 60s band The Kinks, has impressed critics upon release. Given the number of musicals based on singers and bands out there, why not discuss them? Chris?
I've gone with a musical band that I didn't necessarily like that much, but Mamma Mia. Really, it first came out in 1999. First of all, it's been going for 15 years, which in terms of musicals is pretty good going, considering that one of the latest musicals we've had, I Can't Sing, based on the X Factor, has gone after just 2 months.
The Spice Girls musical also stopped after 8 months, I think.
Yeah, there have been quite a few.
It was so terrible.
Yeah?
Even ones like We Will Rock You haven't necessarily been that successful. I think We Will Rock You has done all right, but Mamma Mia is 54 million people have seen the show, which is almost the entire population. It's been made into a film based on the musical, which also did really well, despite Pierce Brosnan's best efforts at not singing. And it's the 9th longest running musical. So I think that's pretty good going.
To be fair though, Pierce Brosnan did a lot better than Hugh Jackman in Les Mis.
Yes, but Pierce Brosnan, he
He
actually...
didn't do that bad.
I think he actually...
The only answer to that is Hugh Jackman is Wolverine. How could you?
Am I the only one that liked Hugh Jackman in Les Mis?
I liked his acting.
No, Hugh Jackman's cool. Dr. Cox is the one who hates him, but... Yeah, Pierce Brosnan, I think, actually had to say, like, please don't put my singing in the adverts. I don't want people to know how bad a singer I am.
Oh.
Which...
Oh.
Yeah, poor Pierce.
Karla, what's your answer?
I'm going to technically go for a loophole a little bit.
Ooh.
And go for a musical about a fictional artist and band that has just been giving a nice revamp over in Broadway by Neil Patrick Harris. Hedwig in the Angry Inch, and it is kind of my favourite movie, like one of my top 3 favourite movies of all time. It has this huge cult following, this huge legacy, and it's about a German guy who has had a operation down there, so he's got a very tiny thingy mabob. And am I allowed to say cocked and still have that? Do we still have that rule on the show that we can't swear?
Well, you're only on 2 points so far, because you said about 5 times.
But it was Jeremy Clarkson, so I think that can be, that can be allowed.
Don't lower yourself to his level, Karla.
But Hedwig in the Angry Inch, I'm so happy to see it revamped, and Neil Patrick Harris is the top choice for who could have played him. And if you can find it online, if you can look at some of the songs on YouTube, it's just an absolutely phenomenal musical and story. So I'm using this to kind of give it some hype.
Can I just say, Hedwig and the Angry Inch, this does sound like Harry Potter fanfic. Like
If
some
this
sort
was-
of...
No.
Okay.
No! Don't do that to Hedwig the German transsexual.
So that's what Harry did all summer with Hedwig.
Yeah, this is why, you know.
That pent-up frustration came out in the Angry Inch.
Bow, bow, bow.
Harry
Cathy,
could fit just the tip.
Cathy, can you raise the tone at all?
Oh, I wish I could.
Please don't.
I'm going to move us away from Potter a little bit, although another one on that ilk is the Potter musical online, if you've spotted it on YouTube.
Oh yes.
It's got Darren Criss in it, he of Glee fame.
Okay.
The one I'm going to go for is the Madness musical, Our House, which is...
There's a Madness musical?
There is...
I did not know this.
It's amazing. It has no plot. Well, it has some plot.
Oh no, it can't have a plot. It's madness. That's the...
Madness, I tell you.
They act it in the middle of the street.
I was going to say, is it that it starts and everyone's like, where's the music coming from? They go out and the madness are on top of the theatre. Just causing havoc.
I wish.
That pleases me.
It's all about a gentleman who has to make his own life choices, and he can go one way or the other. And then there's a whole situation where we get to see two sides of his life play out alongside the backdrop of Madness music.
So baggy trousers or non-baggy trousers? Which one?
Will he be an embarrassment? We just don't know.
House of Fun or the Ghost Train? House of Fun, was that one of theirs? That was
Yes.
one of theirs? Yes, good.
It was.
Where I was going mad.
And the Ghost Train was. It was, I think. Something along those lines. Anyway, it's been a while.
Question 3 now. Actor Kevin Spacey is to star in the next Call of Duty game. But who else could you see playing a role in a computer game? Cathy.
Well, I've actually got two. Based on sort of her recent sort of upshoot in popularity since the Hunger Games, I reckon Jennifer Lawrence is going to come out in one of them.
Ooh.
I reckon she'll make an appearance as some kind of, kick-ass fighter woman with guns and stuff. Other than that, I reckon Ryan Gosling probably might come and play a love interest in a game at some point. He seems the type.
I could see Ryan Gosling being kind of like an LA noir kind of game. I reckon he could suit that quite well.
Like he was in Drive, if you've seen that.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, that would be good. Oh, they should remake The Driver. I'm having it.
Okay, Karla. People for video games.
I reckon we're actually going to see quite a huge, onslaught of celebrities in computer games now. I mean, you've had stuff like Beyond Two Souls, which had Ellen Page and Willem Dafoe in it, which was absolutely phenomenal to play. And now kind of Kevin Spacey, and you've always had them kind of creep up. So kind of, I think a lot of actors are game now to be going into computer game voiceovers. My top one was actually Patrick Stewart, because his voice is just amazing. And then I looked it up, and it turns out he actually does a voiceover for one of the Lego games.
I was thinking he'd already been in some sort of game.
And now I just really want to play Lego Universe purely to hear his voice. Before it's the end of my turn, I also want to give props to Stephen Fry in Little Big Planet, which again, it always just puts a smile on my face whenever I hear his voice when I play that game.
It is literally the only reason I play Little Big Planet, is to listen to Stephen Fry.
Yeah.
Just go through the intro over and over and over again.
Okay, Christopher.
I would have the honest trailer voice guy introducing bad video games, John Bailey, because His voice is fantastic, and yeah, I want him to like narrate stuff like Duke Nukem, because to be fair, the voice that he does is kind of like Duke Nukem anyway. So I think he could have a lot of fun with like really bad video games, particularly that E.T. video game that they found in the desert a few weeks ago. The graphics for that are terrible.
They found a video game in the desert?
Yeah.
Yeah, did you not hear last week's show?
Giant hall of them.
I did not.
It was Atari video games, and yeah, they tried to do this E.T. video game, and you just look at the graphics, and the thing that's supposed to look like E.T. just looks like some sort of lamppost, some terrible pixelated lamppost, and it's awful. But yeah, John Bailey would be my pick.
It's at the scores at the end of the first round. Back on 9 points, it's Karla. On 10, it's Cathy, but just ahead in the lead, it's Chris on 11.
Ooh.
Question number 4 now. The Star Wars cast list has been announced. Amongst them, Harrison Ford, Carrie Fisher and Mark Hamill are returning. But who wasn't on the list? That should have been Karla.
If I've read the right list, where the fuck is Warwick Davis?
He's
I
not
looked through that list. I could not see him mentioned anywhere. That makes me really sad.
And without the Ewoks, they wouldn't have overthrown the Empire.
Oh,
Spoilers!
yeah, he played a pretty, decent part considering he was, he wasn't very old at the time. So
yeah.
they need to bring him back. It makes me sad that they haven't done that.
I've met Warwick Davis. I went to see Spamalot, and he was Patsy. And he has tiny children, and they're adorable.
I saw the world's shortest policeman today in town. He was tiddly, and he had his helmet on as well.
Was he 5?
No, it was a proper policeman, but he must have only been up to sort of like my midriff, and that was with the helmet.
Oh dear.
Oh.
Cathy next.
I don't actually have an answer for this, other than the fact that there's a stunning lack of female cast members.
Yeah.
So I was gonna say that it needs more women, not intelligent women with guns and lasers. So.
Women. Okay, and Chris.
I'm quite disappointed that Billy D. Williams is not there, aka Lando Calrissian. He's awesome. I mean, surely it's all confirmed with his cameo appearance in Scrubs, where JD is trying to convince Turk that his latest girlfriend is okay, and his girlfriend introduces her godfather, who is Lando Calrissian. Despite the fact that he says, "You can call me Billy," Turk can't do it. He just had to keep calling him Lando. So yeah, but I agree with Cathy. There need to be more women.
Do you think when they had the negotiations with him and they offered him the contract and he looked at it and he went, "This deal gets worse and worse all the time"?
Possibly. Possibly. Also, I can't see any Admiral Akbar, which saddens me.
No.
He's got to be in there. That's a wrap. He's one of the most iconic parts of the first 3 films. Oh well.
Number 5 now. Jack Bauer is back in a new series of 24 set in London. The show is famed for running in real time and taking place over a 24-hour period. So with that in mind, and possibly one of the most disturbing questions we've ever done on this show, who would you like to follow around for 24 hours? Cathy?
Well...
Set the bar, Cathy, set the bar.
Set the bar. I'm sorry, it's David Tennant without a doubt. Everyone knows I am a I will not leave him alone for 24 hours. I may not. No. Yeah, no, that's my answer.
You sure?
Short and sweet, I like it.
He may be married, he may have children, but I will follow him.
Okay.
Follow him with.
Carla, we'll come to you next.
Oh, I wasn't really sure. I just know I'd want to follow around someone that I hate and make the next 24 hours of their life a living hell.
Continuously repeat aeroplanes at the head.
I just whisper things at them all the time, and then I'd start singing when they were trying to sleep and poke them just constantly.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd want to follow around someone I hate. If it meant that no one would pull me away, or, that I had a guaranteed 24 hours following this person around, and they had no choice but to have me there, then I would go for someone that I really despise.
Jeremy Clarkson?
It could be Jeremy Clarkson.
You need to just...
I'd do worse than just poke him.
You need to whisper in his ear, only you can hear me.
Yeah, probably Jeremy Clarkson or Piers Morgan.
Just doctor their cue cards and they're not looking.
Okay,
Yes.
now we will go over to the engaged man, Chris Stanley.
Well, this might be slightly left of field. I've gone for Tommy Wiseau, so I can get some vague idea of what goes on in his head. Just him, just Tommy Wiseau. And yeah, I'd say things like, "Oh, hi, Tommy," and just sort of see how he reacts and things like that. And yeah, just to get some sort of idea. I mean, does he actually go into flower shops and not get recognised, but then get told he's their favourite customer? Does that happen? If you go to his apartment, does he actually have spoons everywhere? There has to be something that explains what Tommy Wiseau is. And I think 24 hours would just about be long enough to try and work that out.
But at the end, he'll have to flounce around and go, "You're ruining my life!"
Yeah, exactly. I'm fed up with this world. And he might ask me how my sex life is randomly, and that would be weird.
So on to question number 6. The 11th Doctor, Matt Smith, is to appear in the new Terminator trilogy. Obviously this just goes to show that he's far better than David Tennant.
Can I just stop this question briefly? Because they came out with the first of a trilogy with Christian Bale not long ago, and now have they just kind of boycotted that and have decided, fuck it, we started wrong with that one. Let's start with a new trilogy.
What happened was they made the first 2 Terminator films.
Yeah, and then
And
a third
then-
one was never made.
But so after the second one, and then by the time the third one was made, the rights had gone up and they were bought by another studio, and then they made that one, and then they lost the rights or they went bankrupt, and it was bought by the ones which made Terminator Salvation, except they went bankrupt and thus lost the rights, which is why it's now back with another studio who are now doing a new Terminator trilogy.
And they're feeling confident.
And they've decided to announce a trilogy with Matt Smith, which basically means it'll be awesome. But nobody will understand what's going on if Stephen Moffat writes it.
The last attempt at a trilogy had Batman in it. If Batman couldn't salvage it,
Not just Batman.
Doctor
Batman
Who's not
abusing
going
the
to do
stagehands.
brilliantly.
Yeah, abusive Batman.
Well,
Sweat.
yeah, it is a...
Sweary Batman.
Oh, I forgot about that video.
Get off the
Oh.
set.
I'm trying to do my lines.
This is professional.
So can we have the question now, Karla?
Yeah, sorry. Sorry, I had to ask.
So the 11th Doctor, Matt Smith, is to appear in the new Terminator trilogy in a role that's apparently been described as being close to John Connor. So other examples of former Doctor Who stars in the movie. Chris?
I've gone with John Hurt because, frankly, he's played Jesus. And I don't think you can top that, really, can you? In History
God.
of the World, well, yeah, well, it's technically the same thing, trilogy, isn't it? But yeah, he's played Jesus. John Hurt actually, when I looked at his filmography, is quite impressive track record. He's also Kane from Alien, the fantastic sort of stomach scene, which has been parodied so many times. And also, he's Ollivander in Harry Potter. So, the Doctor gave Harry Potter his wand. That's the sort of thing that makes Tumblr explode with squeeing. Although I did like that recently Christopher Eccleston has come back. He's been in Thor the Dark World. He's the main villain in that. So I think that's quite cool. I miss Christopher Eccleston.
I didn't want want him to say, but all planets have a north at
Yeah.
some point. But he never did.
Or this diabolical plan to take over the world is fantastic. It's fantastic.
Loki, you're a genius.
Yeah, exactly. Nice to meet you, Loki. Run for your life.
Okay, Karla.
Originally, I was going to say that I really enjoyed David Tennant in Fright Night, which is a bit... I enjoyed Fright Night. I thought it was fun. But then I did a little bit of research into what else Peter Capaldi has been in, and he's tried to fire Mr. Bean in the Bean movie.
No.
Yeah! He's right at the beginning where they're talking about how Mr. Bean is such a klutz, and he is there. And they are talking about how they're going to move the whole National Gallery to France to get away from him. And Peter Capaldi is one of the guys that decides to send him to America and start the whole Bean movie.
He was also in The Loop, which
He
is...
wasn't in the loop.
Yeah.
He was also in World War Z, where he was credited as Who Doctor.
Yes, World Health Organization. Yeah, I saw that.
That's quite cool.
Yeah, before we go to Cathy, if anyone's seen that film, it's not too bad. And it was filmed in Falmouth as well, parts of it. But basically the moral I got from that film is if Brad turns up, run for your life, because generally everything's fine until he gets there.
Yeah, pretty much. And then they're out of pasties.
Well, I was going to go with another Harry Potter reference and say David Tennant as what was he in? The evil guy in Harry Potter.
Barty Crouch.
Barty Crouch
Yes.
Junior.
But then I remembered Sylvester McCoy being Radagast in Lord of the Rings. Oh, no, The Hobbit. And he's just amazing. I like Sylvester McCoy.
Did you know, with Sylvester McCoy, that he was approached to be Governor Swan in Pirates of the Caribbean when they were originally going to do it in the 90s, but it didn't get funded, so he could have been Governor Swan.
Aww.
Before we move on to the scores, you could have also had in that round Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man, because he was in Series 3 Dark's Manhattan.
He was.
Yes, he was.
You could have had Carey Mulligan as from Blink.
Yes. Also, is it just me, or after he was in Doctor Who, Andrew Garfield suddenly got very similar David Tennant-style hair? I think there's an influence there.
The scores after 2 rounds on 20 points each. It's Cathy and Karla.
Woo!
Still just ahead, it's Chris on 22.
Woo!
Question 7 now. Sci-Fi are working on Sharknado 3. I'm fairly certain Sharknado has cropped up on the show before, courtesy of James Miller. But what is the best so bad yet so good B-movie out there? Karla.
Loophole again. I'm going to go for the first Resident Evil game because it's the best B-movie ever.
The film?
No, the game.
The game?
PS1. Because the script is just the perfect B-movie. And the acting is the perfect B-movie acting. I want them to make a film of that entire game, word for word, scene by scene.
Well, they've made
And it
4
would be-
Resident Evil films.
But not about the game. And it's just amazing. The best bit is, there's so many best bits. But there's one bit where Jill Valentine is in a room where the ceiling is collapsing and this guy saves her and it's just, and he says, for a minute there, I thought you were a Jill sandwich. And
Oh,
it's just-
yes.
And then he gives her a lockpick and says, Jill, you, the master of unlocking things, could really use this. And it's just perfect B-movie. Please just, I can't love it more. I just can't.
Okay, on to Cathy next.
Well, it's probably no surprise that I have 2 choices and they're both horror films. Yes, Chris knows. One of them, I've had a conversation with a couple of people about this recently, about it being a B-movie, is The Evil Dead, the very first one.
Ooh, good choice.
It's beautifully low budget and slightly terrifying in a really comedic kind of way, except for a couple of scenes. And then they get more silly in the sequels. But it is a glorious, glorious B movie. The other one, which I thought ought to get a little shout out, is a film called Stay Alive, which is essentially a film of...
How to Stay Alive!
I know, it's amazing, and the graphics are just awful.
Oh, I love you so much.
I will give you a virtual high five across the ether waves. But no, it is an amazingly bad film, but everyone should see it.
It really is.
Everyone should watch it now.
The thing is, it's quite a likeable concept, but there's no way it could ever be done well.
No.
Okay, Chris. Best so bad yet so good B movie.
It's got to be The Room, surely? Surely The Room. It's just... Yeah, if you've ever seen... there's a YouTube channel called Cinema Sins, and they go through everything that's wrong with The Room. And normally they pick out 100 things with most average films. The Room just goes into millions and billions. They do bonus rounds where it's how many times does Tommy Wiseau's character laugh? Or go, oh, hi, someone. How many times do they throw the darn footballs to each other? Just, yeah. And the fact that... I think the bit that sort of, for me, is the weirdest bit is the fact that two of Johnny's friends make out in his apartment, getting it on, and they tell him this, and he's absolutely fine. I would not be fine if I got if my friends were like, yeah, we were just in your house getting it on. Yeah, you might want to change the sofa covers. It's no, get the out of my house. No, you're not my friends anymore. It's just, yeah. I really wonder what Tommy Wiseau, why he thought it was going to be a good film, and I just feel really sorry for everyone else who had to sort of convince him that, oh yeah, it's a great film, Tommy.
Question 8 now. A new gadget that costs £7,700 promises the perfect cup of tea. So what other overpriced gadgets are there out there that offers something towards food and drink? Karla?
I am going to go for the roll-in pour, which is what it sounds, and it is the most useless food/drink invention that I've ever seen. Basically, a kind of hollow ball, which you place a bottle in, and you still have to hold the bottle and move it sideways. It's just the fact that it's on a rolly surface now.
Is it so you can roll it to your friends? Is it
No,
it
still stays stationary. That's the
dang
beauty
it.
of it. It still stays stationary.
If it was rolly, that would be much better. It'd be oh man, my drink's over there. Hey dude, can you roll my drink to me? Yeah, sure, here you go. That'd be,
No, it's just so then it can roll from a stationary position, but you still have to hold it by the handle and move it, so then it pours your drink. It does nothing else.
Wow.
That's amazing. Okay.
Chris,
Amazing.
try and top that.
Okay. Sorry.
I'm not sure I can necessarily, but I was just looking on high-tech gadgets, and just only in America there are toasters for $500.
What do they do?
I know. Well, basically what they do is they're a bit bigger than your average toaster, but not much bigger. And the main thing that I can tell about them that might go possibly some way to justifying the ridiculous prices, they've got a keep warm facility. So that if you've made your toast and for some reason, I don't know, you have to put the kettle out and you're like, oh no, I've left my toast for too long. It's going to get cold. No. And it's it's okay because there's a keep warm facility. Now you can do the things that are important. It's really? You don't need that. If you want your toast, if you've got time to make the toast, you've got time to eat the toast. That's how toast works. It's quick and simple and easy. You shouldn't need to extend the time to eat toast.
Okay, Cathy, you've got two strong ones there. Can you match them?
Not really. I a little bit of research for this question because I'm not big on I eat food. I don't analyse how to cook it. But I did find, which bemused me. I don't know how au fait you and the listeners are with the old art of eating fish and chips, and you get the tiny little wooden fork that you jab into the chips and nothing happens. I have found a knife and fork set for purely for fish and chips, plated silver for £1,400.
Whoa!
It's purely just a silver-plated wooden fork.
Is this for when the Queen comes round?
Chris, off your wedding list.
That's just, to be fair, one time when Rachel and I were in St Ives, we ordered pasties and they put down knives and forks in front of us. I just looked at them and the sort of, you're from Cork, you know how pasties work, right? There's this crust bit that you hold. You don't need knives and forks. And they gave us ketchup. It was just like, no.
That's wrong there.
I know. I am also looking at the roll and pour, and yeah, dear goodness.
It genuinely serves no purpose.
I guess it's kind of because it looks like quite a heavy bottle, and you don't want to spill it. Maybe you're worried about spilling it, so it adds a little bit of stability. But really, at least it's not $500.
No, I'll give it. It's cheap. It's just useless.
Yeah.
Before we move on, I just want to draw the boys' attention particularly to this other gadget, which was my second choice.
Banana. Oh, well, Max should know about this, surely, if it's from John Lewis. The Bonanza banana slicer.
That's amazing.
There are so many gadgets for bananas, aren't there? There's a banana.
Boys, do not piss off your girlfriends.
There's a I hadn't even thought about it like that.
There we go.
Oh, I'm gonna curl into a ball.
Okay, so the scores after the questions on 28 points, it's Karla.
Woo.
Tied on 30, it's Cathy and Chris.
Woo!
So it's been our final round, where it's our traditional true or false news story round. As Karla is trailing at the back, you can pick the running order.
Oh, thank you. I'm gonna go Chris, me, Cathy. I don't know why, but why not?
A good choice.
Okay, so Chris, what is your news headline and story?
Student arrested for scaring tourists dressed as vampire. This is Richard Hogg, a 23-year-old student in Portsmouth, found in a local park terrorising tourists by leaping out and trying to bite them. He explained this by saying that he was starring as the lead in Dracula, as the sort of play that the university was putting on, and he was trying to get into the role more. Police let him off with a caution.
Okay, Karla, what's your headline and story?
A man had the Nandos logo tattooed on his ass in bid to get free food.
Okay, and the story?
Congrats.
A 19-year-old guy who apparently spends $1,000 on Nandos a year was hoping to get their famous black loyalty card, which meant free food for life, and had the Nandos logo tattooed on his ass, and they've denied him the card. So now he just has the Nandos logo on his ass, because why not?
Cathy, lastly.
Silent album makes $20,000. Basically, there is a completely silent album on Spotify that has currently netted its creators $20,000 in royalties. It's been described as a clever stunt, but it's now been removed, sadly, so no one else can listen to it.
Aww.
That's tragic.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got a wide bunch of stories there. So we have the student dressed as Dracula terrorising tourists. We've got the man with the Nandos tattoo on his backside, and we've got the silent album on Spotify. So, Karla, do you think the vampire is true or false?
I think the vampire... I'm going to say false. I think I think he probably would have got a slap on the wrist, but not arrested.
Okay, Cathy?
Well, it is Portsmouth, and I did go there. I'd like to say it's true. I'd like to say it's true. Maybe not the reasoning, but certainly the rhyme.
Right, okay, and the Nandos, do you think that's true or false, Cathy?
That's true.
And Chris?
I think it's true.
Okay, what do you think about the silent album?
This just sounds like something John Cage would do. I'm gonna say true. Yeah, I think true.
Okay, and Karla?
Is someone who actually brought John Cage in a bid to get it to Christmas #1, I'm gonna say true.
Okay, so the student arrested, Chris, vampire, true or false?
False.
No!
False as they come. Yeah, I made that up completely.
Well done.
Okay.
I like the fact that I seem to have got Portsmouth student life though down to the description that seems to match Cathy's recollections.
Yeah, no, you're pretty spot on, Chris.
Okay, so the Nando's tattoo, true or false?
Of course it's true.
Poor guy.
Yeah. He's an idiot though, isn't he? Plus he's 19, all the kids these days love Nando's, don't they?
Why on his backside? Really? Of all the places.
Okay, and
To be fair, it's better than some tattoos in that area that I've seen.
Nice.
When they didn't give him the card, he said he was going to get it lasered off and get a KFC one instead. This is the next generation, guys.
Yeah.
Woo!
We're screwed.
Yeah.
okay, and to decide the show, the silent album, Cathy, is that true or false?
It is true. It is true.
Woo!
All done to raise money for their gig tour, apparently.
Oh.
Oh, okay. Oh, I thought you were going to say for charity, and then it wasn't quite as good.
Well, it's some
Yeah,
form of
I know.
charity. Supporting themselves.
Charity begins at home.
Okay,
It's true.
so that brings us to the final scores. On 33 points, it's Cathy.
Woo!
Also on 33 points, it's Karla.
Oh,
Which
what a
means
shocker.
this week's
I
winner
didn't win.
on 34,
Oh,
it's Chris.
oh, by a whisker.
That's the closest I've ever lost.
Yeah.
Just think if you'd thought of a different answer other than Jeremy Clarkson at the start.
Yeah, but he's a knob, isn't he?
Yeah, it's worth losing a panel game to abuse Jeremy Clarkson.
Yeah, Jeremy Clarkson's a dick. And Piers Morgan's a They should be
You can say,
on the island.
wait, the game's over now, Karla. Yeah, let's just say what you want.
Thank you to my guests this week, Cathy, Karla and Chris. We'll be back next week where I believe we shall have the Duncan
Woo!
Ooh.
and hopefully 2 other exciting panellists as well.
Whee!
Have a lovely week. Thank you for tuning in. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.